Your parents had a plan for you. Get a decent job. Save a little every month. Buy a house when the time is right. Keep your head down, work hard for 40 years, and retirement would take care of itself. It was a simple plan. For a long time, it worked. But a whole generation looked at that blueprint and decided it no longer made sense. Which raises a fair question. When did you last stop and ask whether that same blueprint still makes sense for you? Gen Z, the people born roughly between 1997 and 2012, are doing something that older generations find confusing and sometimes even a little unsettling. They are rethinking money from the ground up. Not because they are reckless or lazy, but because the world they grew up in looks very different from the one their parents knew. Economists and analysts have a name for what Gen Z experienced coming of age. They call it disillusionomics. It sounds like a made-up word, but it points to something very real. Gen Z watched the 2008 financial crisis wipe out their parents' savings when they were kids. They came of age during a global pandemic that shut the world down. They saw housing prices shoot through the roof, student debt balloon to impossible numbers, and wages stay flat while everything got more expensive. The economic system their parents described to them, the one where hard work leads to stability, started to feel like a story that no longer had a happy ending. This is not just complaining. It is a rational response to a changed environment. When the rules of a game shift, smart players adapt their strategy. And that is exactly what Gen Z is doing. One of the most striking things about this generation is how early they started taking money seriously. On average, Gen Z made their first investment at just 20 years old. Compare that to Millennials who started at 26. Gen X began investing at 28. Baby Boomers did not start until 31. That gap might not sound like much. But in the world of investing, time is everything. Money invested early has more years to grow, and that growth builds on itself over time. Starting a decade earlier than your grandparents is an enormous head start. And it makes you wonder, if you could go back and start earlier, what would that have been worth to you by now? But Gen Z is not just investing earlier. They are investing differently. For this generation, money is not just a number in an account. It is a statement about who they are and what they believe. Research from Morgan Stanley found that Gen Z strongly prioritizes ethical spending and socially conscious investing. They want their money to go to companies that treat workers fairly, take the environment seriously, and operate with integrity. When a brand gets caught cutting corners on ethics, Gen Z pulls their support, fast and loudly. This has real consequences for businesses. Companies that want Gen Z's dollars have had to rethink how they operate. And it means that when Gen Z puts money into the market, they are often looking for more than just a return. They are looking for alignment with their values. That same idea is worth applying personally, because if the companies you invest in do not reflect what you actually stand for, whose money is really doing the talking? This mindset makes sense when you look at how the job market has changed. Job security is not what it used to be. Entire industries have been disrupted. Automation is changing what kinds of work exist. The old promise, stay loyal to a company and they will take care of you, has been broken often enough that younger workers have stopped trusting it. Building multiple streams of income is not paranoia. It is protection. Gen Z also has a very different attitude toward debt than the generations before them. Fidelity found that nearly half of Gen Z, 49%, say they only turn to credit cards and bank loans as a last resort. That is a significant departure from how previous generations used credit. Older Americans often use debt as a standard financial tool, whether for cars, appliances, vacations, or everyday expenses. Gen Z watched what that debt did to their parents and grandparents, and many of them decided early on that they did not want that weight. It is the kind of thing that makes you look at your own relationship with debt a little differently, and honestly ask whether the money you owe is building towards something, or just quietly costing you. Now, to be fair, the full picture of Gen Z and money is not all good news. Every generation has its blind spots, and Gen Z has real ones. Despite their early start with investing and their sharp instincts around debt, more than half of Gen Z minus 55% do not have enough savings to cover even 3 months of expenses if something went wrong. That is a serious vulnerability. An emergency fund is not glamorous, but it is the foundation that keeps everything else from falling apart when life gets unpredictable. On top of that, only about 21% of Gen Z invested in the stock market over the past year. That means the majority of this generation, despite being more financially aware than any before them, has not yet made the move from knowing about investing to actually doing it. Awareness is not the same as action. And in the world of building wealth, action is where everything happens. So, if there is one thing to take from this, one habit that has been sitting on the back burner, what would actually need to change for it to finally move forward? So Gen Z is not a financial success story, not yet. It is more like a financial experiment in progress. The instincts are sharp. The values are clear. The early start is a real advantage, but there are gaps to fill, habits to build, and a lot of roads still ahead. That kind of clear-eyed thinking is not exclusive to any generation. Anyone can choose to question old assumptions, start investing earlier than feels comfortable, diversify their income, align their spending with their actual values, and take debt seriously as a risk instead of a routine tool. Gen Z did not create the problems they are responding to. But the way many of them are responding is worth studying, whether the year on your birth certificate starts with 19 or 20, the old playbook had its time. The question now is what the new one looks like. And from the looks of it, Gen Z is already several chapters in. If this got you thinking differently about money, even just a little, that is exactly the point. These are conversations that do not happen enough, and they probably should. There's a lot more to dig into on this channel, from how wealth actually gets built to the financial traps most people never see coming. If that sounds like something worth sticking around for, go ahead and hit subscribe so the next one finds you. And if someone in your life needs to hear this, a friend, a sibling, someone just starting out, share it with them. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do for someone is hand them a better question. Thanks for watching, and the next one is already on its way.